a man without a future will always return to his past. And I don't care how old you are, you always have to have a vision for the future. I don't care if you're 12 or 112, you have to have a vision for the future because your vision pulls you into the future. How many realize that I don't want to stay where I am always? So Paul says, now I realize I have a vision of Christ. The first thing is you have to have a new vision of Christ. Your vision of Christ can't be grandmama's vision of Christ. Your vision of Christ can't be little Jesus in a manger. How many realize Jesus is no longer a baby in a manger? Even though we put it out every Christmas, that is a faulty representation of who Christ is. Christ is not a baby in a manger. Christ is a risen king that is ruling, subduing, and having dominion, sitting on a throne, and he expects his children to rule, subdue, and have dominion. He does not expect you to walk around with your head down the rest of your life. He does not expect you to be defeated the rest of your life. He does not expect you to be taking a butt whooping every day of your life. He expects you to rule with him because that's what he is, a ruler. But if you only see Christ as a little baby in a manger, or if you only see Christ through the tradition of men, if you only see Christ through the eyes of religion, you will never step into what Christ has for you. Religion would say, no, don't acknowledge you're sick. Well, that's stupid. How you going to say don't speak that? Well, how you going to get healed if you don't acknowledge that you're sick? If that woman with the issue of blood would never acknowledge that her body was sick, how could she ever move towards Christ to get healed? Religion wants to keep you in bondage, but God says, I want you free. Acknowledge your current condition. I'm not what I want to be, but I ain't what I used to be. See, because church people would try to put you in their trip. Religion would try to make you something that God never intended you to be. Don't try to be something that you're not. Acknowledge your current condition and start where you find yourself. Everybody else quit. I started this journey out with 5 other folk, and I don't even know where they are. They quit. Why can't I quit, God? Why can't I quit? I got credentials and still can't find a job. I'm ready to quit. I'm tired of crying myself to sleep. I'm tired of trying to drink myself to sleep. Oh, I know you don't do that, but somebody might. I'm trying to do all this other stuff to get myself in a place just to be able to function. Lord, I might as well just drop out of the race right now. But Paul said that the answer ain't in quitting. The answer is in pressing. I don't know how many of you lift weights or are in the sports arena, but if I'm working out, the first 10, Derek, them first 10, I ain't really pressing. It's them last 5 that's real tough, and my arms are shaking, and I think somebody needs to come get the weight off of me, but I'm just going to keep pressing because it's in the press where all the growth happens. It's not in the easy stuff. See, baby, what God has for you, everybody can't walk into it. If everybody could walk into it, they'd be done walked into it. But he's putting something on you that you think is a little bit much. But God says, baby, I trust you with trouble. I trust you with the pressure. But if you can just press on. How many of you have ever had that experience? Come on. It's I can't explain it, but I know it's there. All I can tell you is something that's in me that every time I try to settle down and say I'm going to resign, that thing in me just keeps waking up, and I'm trying to stop, but something in me, Christ said, I touched you, Antonio. Now it's your turn to come after me. It's like he's playing tag with us or something. You're it. Now I'm going to run over here and see if you're going to still follow people around you, want you to explain everything, and you can't. And they calling you a fool because you don't even know what you're going after. It's just that. And that's why you got to get yourself away from folks that want to make you explain everything right now. Oh, I know you love them, but you can't be around them right now because they will contaminate your that. And your that will become their that, which ain't nothing. He says, I'm just trying to, it's like Christ tagged me and ran off, and now I'm chasing him, but I don't even know what it is in him that I'm trying to be after. It's just that. I done hit some rough patches, but I didn't quit. I could have quit. I could have just dropped out of the game. I could have done it. See, I'm a master of disguise. See, I know how some of you probably done quit in life, but you dress up real nice and make folks think you ain't quit. But I know you trying to quit. But Paul said, don't quit. First one, he says, now I want you to acknowledge you ain't got it all together right now. Acknowledge that you ain't where you want to be. And acknowledge you done made some mistakes and you done messed up and made some bad decisions that done led you where you are currently. But baby, don't quit. God is the God that can redeem your situation and your circumstance. But don't you quit. And then he says, but this is the hard part. He says, again, I hadn't apprehended it. I hadn't taken hold of it. I hadn't caught it. He tagged me, and I'm chasing him, but I can't catch him. I can't catch him. I done wrote 2/3 of the New Testament, but I still can't catch it. Most of us, we don't acknowledge the good we have done. All we let consume us is what we haven't done. Some of y'all need to go home, tell the devil, you ain't going to have me today. Put a candle in a Twinkie, celebrate what you have done, and then encourage yourself to move on. Baby, you don't need nobody else. Just throw yourself a party. Put a candle in and say, baby, today is my birthday. Today is my day where I'm going to move from where I am to where God has me. I don't need nothing else right now. I'm going to encourage my... And it was there in this one-room villa that the Lord began to speak into my spirit and remind me of what he had said. And as he began to remind me over a period of months, I began to get stronger and stronger. And then God sent me Gil. Broken, just needed somebody to walk him through some stuff. And then he said, I'm from Augusta. And I looked up. God was reminding me of what he had told me in the middle of a stormy time. And then a few months later, somebody called. It was a pastor from the city, and he wanted me to preach for him in Augusta. And God was reminding me of what he promised me. And what it began to do is the more he reminded me of what he promised me, the higher calling, the more I forgot about the pain that I was already in. And so I can't tell you what God has for you. But I can tell you he ain't finished with you yet. Well, Pastor, how you know that? Because you're sitting here. If he was done, he would have just brought you on home. But he ain't done with you. You got to make up in your mind. Thank you, Isaiah. I heard you. Isaiah's speaking to me right now. He says, tell them, forget the things of old. Forget the former things. Behold, I'm doing a new thing. Shall you not know it? Shall you be so bogged down with what you're going through that you won't even see what God is doing in your life right now? Shall you be in so much pain and shall you be in so much agony about what happened that you're going to miss the new thing God is doing? Are you going to be so bound by what the generations before you have done that you're going to miss God wanting to use you to start a whole new generation? Baby, if you get saved and give your life to Christ, your children will be born saved because you are saved. Are you going to be so bogged down with the pastor that did you in that you will give up on what God has called you to do? I know it looks like you're this, that, and the other, but God said you are a pastor and a minister. Are you going to believe what God said to you, or are you going to believe the report of an idiot that could not see who you are? What are you going to do? Today is the day that you make a decision that I'm going to let that stuff go and I'm going to reach to something God has for me.